Why play Nasus Jungle? Well, he's incredibly easy to pick up and do well with, he scales great into the mid and late game, he's a great team fighter and split pusher, and he's a brilliant duelist. However, he is weaker in the early game before he has stacks, and when Ghost isn't available he can get kited. Nasus's passive is he innately has a large amount of lifesteal. Nasus's Q is his bread and butter. It is an auto attack reset which empowers his next basic attack to gain bonus range and deal additional damage. However, if this ability kills the target, he permanently gains 3 stacks, and if he kills a champion, large minion or large monster, he instead gains 12 stacks. And in addition to this ability granting him bonus range and dealing additional damage, it also deals even more damage per stack. So one of your main goals throughout the game will be to stack this as high as you can, as being able to infinitely stack this ability means you can do silly amounts of damage. Nasus's W is a point and click ability which applies a massive slow to the target and applies the cripple effect, which reduces the enemy's attack speed for 5 seconds, which means this can be devastating to any champion that relies on auto attacks. Nasus's E throws out a large circle which deals a chunk of damage to all enemies hit and grants sight of the area. After this, the circle remains for 5 seconds, dealing damage over time and reducing the armor of anyone within by a good amount. Nasus's ultimate empowers himself for 15 seconds, where he gains bonus health, armor, magic resist, size, and attack range. In addition, while he's empowered, he deals damage to all enemies around him, and the cooldown on his Q is halved, allowing him to absolutely spam it. For combos, Nasus can spam his abilities incredibly fast. Start by using E, and then as quickly as possible use W into ultimate into Q, as each of these abilities will cancel the previous one's animation by a small amount. And of course, follow up by spamming away with autos and Qs. And if you don't have ultimate available, a W into E followed up by an auto attack into Q is a great basic combo. For matchups, Nasus does great into junglers who rely on attack speed, where he can fully shut them down with his W. However, he can struggle against aggressive early game junglers who can shut him down or outvalue him. For runes, take this, fleet footwork giving you movement speed and healing is everything you want. For build orders, start Blue Monster and Pot into Divine Sundra and Tier 2 boots. After this, pick up a Frozen Heart and Spirit's Visage before finishing a build with any of these as needed. Essentially, he gets massive value out of cooldown reduction. For skill orders, start Q then E, then take another point in Q before taking W. After this, max Q then W then E, taking ult whenever you can. For summoner spells, take Ghost and Smite. Starting the game, as you can't apply too much pressure early, your go-to will be to simply fully clear the jungle. Where your clear isn't the fastest in the game, your passive ensures you'll be healthy while doing so, and you'll still complete your clear well in time for Scuttlecrab spawning. Of course, the most important aspect to remember while doing this clear is to keep stacking your Q. So as many jungle monsters as you can, and especially the large ones, make sure you're last hitting them with your Q. It's just way too much extra damage to be missing out on. At this point, if you can take Scuttlecrab without a fight, it'll be a great amount of experience and gold for you. However, if you have to fight for it, make sure top or mid can rotate to you. After this point, you can either back and do another full clear, which is incredibly viable, or you can look for a gank. When looking to gank, always consider the 3 main points of what CC does your team bring, what escapes does the enemy have, and where is the lane push to. When ganking, simply wither your opponent and watch them crawl towards their tower while you hit them over and over again. Entering the mid game, keep farming hard to get stack after stack. But of course, as the jungler, make sure you keep looking for picks and getting objectives. Entering late game team fights, your role is mainly going to be sprinting at their backline. If you can W one of their carries, it will ruin their damage output and allow you to easily get onto them where 2 or 3 Qs should kill them. But of course, as Nasus, you don't always want to be team fighting, so do consider split pushing and collapsing onto the fight after.